Hello, and welcome to the Of
Wait,
Myths and Men
wait,
podcast. The only podcast to record from the three corners of Wisconsin. Signing in from Superior is myself, Adam Holcomb, and signing in from Door County is Dylan Blumenberg.
Hey, I'm in Washington Island.
And all the way down from Sparta, special guest Valya Chohodar.
I'm in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, home
Sparta's-
of Two Rivers, Wisconsin.
They got some breweries there.
I tell you what, they got
breweries
some
everywhere,
breweries
though,
here.
don't they?
It's Wisconsin. There's a
They brew
brewery
the
in
best
every
breweries.
city.
Tell you what.
Peshtigo has 3 bars on one corner, and that's 90% of the town.
That's ridiculous.
My cousin was when they were here. I was talking to him about that sort of, and somehow it came up yeah, where would you even? Because you can't really do shit in Neenah. But he's like, where would you even go? And he's like, well, yeah, there's bars everywhere. He's like, wait, what are you talking about? And then I just pointed to a bar. There's
across
bars
the street.
there's bars everywhere. No one goes into them though.
No one.
That's true.
Wisconsin
They're always
is
empty.
alcohol-proof state.
It's like North Korean convenience stores. They're just facades.
Our podcast brings together 3 unknowledgeable individuals who spend a day pretending to be experts on mythology. Each week, we will discuss a different god or creature, rotating out the lead mythologist. We will discuss its habits, its attitudes, we will tell a tale, and we will end on a debate on who would win in a mythological fight club. And today's lead mythologist is Dylan.
Yep.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about the god or creature we'll be talking about today?
I would.
All right.
Today's creature is
What the fuck? You're not Dylan.
Go on.
Restart.
Go on.
So, this week we got the Hydra, and before either of you say anything, this has nothing to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Also, let's get to this right off the bat. People who say the MCU can go fuck themselves. Why am I expected to know what the MCU is?
What about the Hydra from Grand Theft Auto games? That plane that floats.
Oh yeah,
What
that
we're
was mentioned
talking
in there
about.
in San Andreas. That
Yeah.
was the see also things.
Yeah.
Not that. All right, so this one is the Lernian Hydra, also known as. That's the Greek and Roman one that I'm sure everyone is familiar with. It's the multi-headed water serpent. Legends say it has, quote, many heads, which who knows what that is. But if you chop one head off, 2 grow in its place. Doesn't, my question about this, I'm sure you guys had the same question, was the heads that grow back, are they the same size or smaller?
Same size.
Okay.
Chop
Glad
one
we
head
answered
off,
that.
2 more will take its place.
Do they each have a
That's
brain?
a quote from the MCU movie
Oh, Jesus.
Captain America Winter Soldier.
Here we go.
One thing I love about the MCU is the diversity.
All right, I quit.
There's a bank in where I live, which I won't give away so people don't harass me because we're so popular now. It's called MCU.
There's a bar called ICU.
Yeah, intensive
All
care.
Those are different letters.
It's true.
Stupid joke, Dylan.
So
So-
do they have the same brain?
I'm going to say no because of something that I'll get into in a second. But some sources say... Oh, Jesus.
I have a
What
quick
now,
question.
Adam?
I don't remember this boss in Witcher 3. Which Witcher game was it in?
He was in Witcher 4, the one where you play cards the entire time.
Gwent.
Most people didn't play it because Gwent was fucking boring, and I hated it. But
It got pretty easy once you got any kind of good cards.
no, I can't remember. I was watching something, and they said something about it. Oh, this dude that works at Hail Hydra the other day, and I was like, all right, I'll do that.
All right, go on.
Some people say this thing has 5 heads, others say 8, but the one common thread with this is that it's got an immortal head in the middle, and if it has at least that head left, it can't be killed at all. And also, one head is also always awake when this thing is sleeping.
Is it the
So don't
same
try to
head all
sneak
the
up
time
on
and
it.
it's just really
Head.
tired?
They can switch out. They can take shifts.
What's it doing when the others are sleeping?
It's reading a novel by Robert Frost.
Is it reading a novelization of the film Push by Sapphire, which was based off the novel Push by Sapphire?
Is that a real thing?
No. Is it is it reading a novelization of a movie that's based off a novelization?
All right, it's reading Calvin and Hobbes. Does that
Okay.
satisfy you?
Not really, not for my joke.
All right. Calvin and Hobbes is better than Push by Sapphire. Push by Sapphire. So anyway, this thing lived in the lake of Lerna in the region of Argolid. Argolid. All right.
And you thought I was bad at pronouncing names last episode.
Yeah, there's a couple of these in here. Oh, I forgot to mention. There's like a good amount of conflicting information about this dude. Saying like he's immortal until something happens. When he's like technically not really immortal. But you might pick up on some of that. So anyway, he lived in this Lerna lake in Argoloid. I pronounced that wrong again. But this lake was said to be the entrance to the underworld. And there's a lot of stories of... the only reason this thing is famous is probably because of the stories of Hercules killing it.
Sure.
But we'll talk more about him in episode 100, of course.
He's not going to be in this episode at all?
I mean, kind of a little bit, but not to his full extent. But
gotcha.
We'll talk about how he killed this Hydra later also. But
are you going to make a man out of him? That's a Disney song that was definitely not in Mulan and was in Hercules.
Is that in the MCU?
Yes.
That was the one where Thanos...
Fun fact, Hercules is a superhero in the Marvel comics.
Really?
Hasn't made the screen yet.
Huh.
Are you being serious?
100%, yeah.
What does DC have? They have Hades?
They have shit.
They got Wonder Woman, I think.
That's true.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
I'm imagining like Mythology, like MCU has Hercules and DC just has like just some shitty god no one cares about.
Hydra. So anyway, the Hydra was the offspring of Typhon and this thing called Echidna. And
It's
Typhon.
Echidna.
All right. So Typhon was a giant serpent, so that makes sense. And Echidna, which I thought this was a Pokemon, to be honest. Is that not like similar to the name of a Pokemon?
It is. I don't even play Pokemon, and I know that.
Isn't it, Adam?
No.
What's the one I'm thinking of?
I have no idea.
I think it sounds like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh creature.
It does sound like a Pokemon.
There's in Sonic there's a head Knuckles the Echidna.
Yeah, that's true. Which who knows what that is? But anyway, Echidna is a half woman, half snake. So this one actually like kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of like shit not making sense when two people get together. But they also
what is I don't know if I missed it or if you said it. Typha was the first one?
Typhon?
Typhon? What is that?
T-H-O-N. It's a giant serpent.
Okay.
It's like Typhoon,
That's all
but
I
they
read.
left out the O's.
It's a move in
Typhon.
Deus Ex where you spin your arms and shoot little bombs out of it. Never really used it. That thing is weird. So anyway, Typhon and Echidna, they had a lot of kids, and some of these were pretty famous. They had Cerberus, Chimera, however you want to pronounce it, the Sphinx, and Caucasian Eagle. Everyone's favorite Caucasian Eagle. Sounds like a
jeans.
bad, yeah, like faded pleated jeans.
Shops at Hot Topic.
Oh, jeez. That sounds like a bad translation from, like, a Japanese anime or something.
It does.
So this thing had a couple attacks, besides the obvious, like, biting and tearing with its 5 to 8 heads. It could spit acid and blood. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned...
That sounds deadly to it.
That's a good point that I didn't think about. Let's not bring that up again. So its scent was said to be deadly, which I think if we learned this in the past, it basically just means it like leaves poison behind it, like trails of poison.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weird one though, and to be honest, a fair amount of this info, once again, I'm getting from D&D websites. They said its teeth were able to raise skeletons from the dead, so that's kind of cool. But again,
does it have to bite the skeleton?
No, I don't think so. I guess what I thought was like its tooth would drop out and raise a skeleton.
Oh.
Granted, this thing probably has like a million teeth, so that's not the worst trade-off. Yeah. That's pretty much all I had for like info about it. If you want to get into the story,
let's hop right into the story, but with a little bit of a detour beforehand. So this thing gave birth to Cerberus, right? The three-headed dog, guard dog for Hades.
No, it was the child of Typhon and Echidna, and yeah, it was its child, their child.
Did Typhon and Echidna have Cerberus? Who had Cerberus as a kid?
Typhon and Echidna had
Typhon
Cerberus,
and Echidna
Chimera,
had Cerberus,
Sphinx, and Caucasian
and the
Eagle.
Sphinx and the Caucasian Eagle.
Doesn't Caucasian Eagle sound like a derogatory term that a Native American would give to a white guy? It's hilarious.
It sounds like an indie movie, like an indie superhero movie, like
it does.
Birdman, you know, and like Rainn Wilson is the star.
But Cerberus is our logo now. He plays a large part in our logo.
He was in one of those episodes, right?
For our website.
Whose logo, Adam?
For our logo of Myths and Men, the podcast about mythology, not
great.
The ones about men's psychology. You can check out our website at mythsandmen.com or mythsandmen.com.
You know, in the latest episode of Myths and Men counseling podcast, not ours, the other one, they talked about Kendrick Lamar, so maybe give that a listen too.
And they have a black guy, so probably better than this.
We have a Bosnian guy.
That is true.
I'm not Bosnian.
You're not?
What the fuck are you?
I'm a Caucasian Eagle.
Mythology was created through an early form of storytelling, so we like to spend a little bit of time delving into a tale that involves our subject. We will be a little bit more in-depth with analyzation to better understand the story, and each week you'll have a tale to bring home to tell your significant other, your Caucasian Eagle, or many of your other spawns that are creepy combinations of animals. Please, lead us on a tale of wonder.
Alright, so this is like a third of the story of Hercules killing this Hydra, because the whole story is really long. But, here we go. Each time Hercules bashed one of the Hydra's heads, Iolaus, which it was explained earlier in the story, Iolaus is his buddy, his friend, his main squeeze, but like in the not gay type of way.
Wait, whose friend was
they don't have a gay bulge.
Hercules' friend was Iolaus.
Oh, he was Hercules. I thought he was the Hydra. Okay, yeah.
So each time Hercules bashed one of the Hydra's heads, Iolaus held a torch to the headless tendons of the neck. The flames prevented the growth of replacement heads, and finally, Hercules had the better of the beast. Once he had removed and destroyed the 8 mortal heads, Hercules chopped off the 9th immortal head. This he buried at the side of the road leading from Lerna to Aeolus, and for good measure he covered it with a heavy rock. And for the rest of the hapless Hydra, Hercules slit open the corpse and dipped his arrows into the venomous blood.
And his nuts.
Little side note, this was part of Hercules' 12 trials, but because Iolaus helped Hercules with this, the dude who gave Hercules these trials said it didn't really count because he should have done it by himself. It's a little fun fact for you guys.
Well, you shouldn't cheat.
How badass is Hercules? He can friggin' kill a 9-headed thing, but also, isn't this thing huge? Like, how the fuck did Hercules fight it enough that his friend could just hold a torch to it?
Have you ever seen the Disney animated film Hercules?
I have. That's the one where Tarzan is found, right?
Yeah. And Tarzan pretends to be a guy in the army, the China army.
So, I haven't seen that movie in probably like 20 years, but how big is Hydra in there? Because I have some info on this.
Pretty huge.
I don't think it was super huge, but
It was
it's
like
big.
5 times the size of Hercules, like height-wise alone.
And Hercules is just like
He's a
like
human.
5'8", normal human size.
Yeah.
He's like 6'2",
Jeez.
tall little guy.
So this thing was said to be less than the height of a man. Like it's
Really?
tall. It's probably like 4 feet tall, honestly.
Oh,
Wow. So
Yeah,
that's why he
not very
got he
big.
managed to kill it.
that
Okay.
is very anticlimactic.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like in the Wizard of Oz where you see the shadow of the wizard, and it's like a giant, and then they get behind the curtain, and it's just a little fucking bitch boy.
Bitch boy. I have some more info about the stats too. Do we want to get into that?
You want me to move on to Fight Club intro quick?
Sure, if
We're
you want.
zipping through.
Well, it'll make up for the other one. We'll just put half of the last episode onto this one.
Cliffhanger.
We'll stop like mid-word, one of the ones I mispronounce a bunch. One of the things people love to debate about is who would win in a fight? The main cast of Futurama or the main cast of All in the Family?
Probably Futurama. I mean, you got Layla alone.
That's
They're
true.
just two-dimensional though.
But they're also like super far in the future. Like they got the
True.
smelloscope and all that shit. They got
Fry has one eye. Like, if one of the All in the Family members sees that, they're like a
Fry has two
PG-13
eyes.
sick.
Get your
He doesn't. Who has one eye?
Layla.
Leela.
Layla. Yeah, sorry. She has one eye, right?
Why
If
don't
one
you
of them
call her
sees
Layla?
that,
I've seen that show.
isn't that her name?
Leela.
Yeah, Leela.
Leela.
My bad.
Point is, let me say my piece, right? Because they're like a PG-13 sitcom family, right? So anything out of the ordinary freaks them out. A freaking chick with one eye, can you imagine that? Like they get freaked out seeing, women working or driving. They're like, what the chick with one eye would just kill them.
That's valid.
I was thinking
Also
of
the
Full
crab
House
fella.
the entire time.
For audience, I have not seen Futurama. I've seen like one episode, so that's why I don't know any of it.
So, in our Fight Club section, we indulge ourselves and talk about who would win in a mythological fight to the death. We will pit this week's subject, the Hydra, against one discussed in an earlier podcast, with our lead mythologist defending the Hydra. And he can challenge either Valia or myself.
Hey, side note on this. If we ever bring Hercules in this thing, I mean, it's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
But also,
Wouldn't you just win?
it's going to die. Yeah. The Hydra would not stand a chance.
It'd be the most anticlimactic fight we've had.
It would be the definition of Hercules kills the Hydra.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, to be honest, though, he wouldn't have Iola's unless somehow we
True.
bring that random dude that he was friends with in.
I was actually going to do that for my next episode.
Oh, jeez. You son of a bitch.
I'll change that.
Here we go.
All right, let's go. Or who would you like to challenge first?
Let's look at this record on mythsandmen.com.
We have a wiki on mythsandmen.com. You can visit our website by going to mythsandmen.com. On the wiki, we have all of our previous creatures that you can check out, as well as many other fun little stats. So we like to come up with stats for each creature, which we'll go over with the Hydra in a bit. And we just kind of give us a baseline of what we think it's at and help us compare creatures. And we will have all of that on our wiki, along with win-loss records for both the debaters and the creatures, and descriptions of the creatures. We'll have the episodes, the fight clubs, all that fun stuff.
Also,
you
nudie
to
pics
check out.
of Dylan.
Nudie pics
that
of
sort of
Dylan
thing.
are on there, but they're like hidden. They're
You gotta
secret.
look for him.
Easter egg.
You gotta find them.
So, for our listeners that want to bet on this, right now we all have the same amount of wins besides me because I lost the last episode. So I'm gonna challenge Adam.
We have all the same wins?
Well, not anymore. But
What?
Yeah, you have 5 wins, 5 losses. I have 5 wins, 5 losses. Valia has 6 wins, 6 losses.
I'm the best at
And
this.
then I won, so I'm 6-5 and you're 5-6.
Just like the Packers. Dude,
They're actually
by the way,
they're actually 1-0-1.
I had to look up how the fuck you get a tie in football. I've never felt like such a dumbass.
Did they get a tie?
Huh?
Yeah, there's been
got a
2
tie?
ties so far.
Yeah,
I
how
thought you
crazy
couldn't
is
get
that?
ties in American sports.
If you get
In
through
football,
overtime
you
without
can.
scoring,
Yeah.
it's a tie.
So they had a tie
Apparently.
in a game?
Yeah.
Against who?
It's been in
The
a while.
Vikings.
Wow, dude.
But yeah, week 1, so it's 2 weeks of football have passed, and week 1, the Steelers and the Browns tied, and then the Browns ended their a lot of game loss streak by getting a tie. So they ended a losing streak with a tie, so they still have a winless streak.
That's shitty.
Yeah, so they tied week 1, and then Packers and Vikings tied week 2, and you normally like maybe get 1 tie a season.
How does the table work in the NFL? So is it points based or is it win,
What
draw,
table?
loss? Like who's first and who's last?
A tie counts basically as a half a win and a
Okay,
half a loss.
So whenever people give me shit about soccer having too many ties, give it
Well,
right back then.
This really doesn't
you
happen
could.
that often, though, right?
True. I mean, it happens maybe once a season for a team to get a tie. Well, 2 teams
Yeah.
technically.
Well, in fairness, the NFL has 32 teams, right?
Yeah.
There's like hundreds, thousands of soccer teams. So
I don't
bet the
believe you.
numbers,
I've seen 2.
numbers- You've seen 2?
There's only the 2.
There's only the Packers and the Cubs. And that's a
Mhm.
fact. And they're both
Those are
great.
the only 2 soccer teams.
And Iceland. The Icelandic national team is the third. they
And
sometimes
actually,
play.
the 4th one is the Antarctic penguins,
Oh, yeah.
who are just fucking scientists. Oh no, the scientists are fucking penguins.
That's
well,
right.
goes both
Wait a
ways.
minute.
Cindy.
Speaking of the
Such a
Packers, by the
bitch.
way, speaking of the Packers, that game against Chicago where they came back miraculously. So I was like, I started watching that with my cousin. I was like, yeah, let's see what happens in football, and we were just bored out of our minds when they were down like 23-0, and then we just see like that they came back. So I was kind of like, oh, probably
Were you
should've
watching
watched
when
that.
they came back?
No, we were watching when they
man.
were losing like horribly, and then
See-
turned it off because like we don't watch that sport.
Like, I don't go out of my way to watch football, but my God, when that stuff happens, you can't help but get sucked in.
It was pretty exciting.
Or
It seemed
pissed
like
off,
it.
I guess, if you're the Bears.
All right.
That's going to be a solid 5 minutes to cut.
Or just leave it all in.
Probably. We'll see how long the episode is. I cut stuff if they're long. If they're not, I just let us ramble. So
We're a professional podcast.
yeah. The Hydra. Would you say its strength is?
All right, so I wrote some stuff down for this.
Giving head.
I mean, it's probably like fair. Like, I don't know, 5 or 6. It's not crazy because it's not that big. So it's got
true.
like
It's not a big.
5 to 8. The strength of 5 to 8 snakes.
I'm gonna go
know.
with 5.
What's
5
snakes?
then.
Yeah, I'm good with 5. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what the, So- I could have just made something up there. And I totally didn't.
How did you get 5 to 8 snakes?
Because
That's what I wanna know.
one source I read up on said 5 heads, and one said 8, but they're basically just like serpent heads.
Okay, that's fair.
It didn't really say what the body was. It was just like legs, like indiscriminate legs. I'm assuming there's 4 legs.
Just 2 like humanish like legs, but like dwarf sized legs, and then like just Hydra heads coming from them.
But it's wearing Jordans.
It's got like scales and shit. Yeah, scale
What's
pattern
its
Jordans.
speed?
Very fast. There's some people that recounted that they couldn't count how many heads it had because it moved so fast. So I don't know. I guess I was thinking like 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7 or 8.
All right.
I agree with 7. Intelligence.
They said it was clever. I don't know how far clever goes.
Well, humans can be clever, so
Like
I'd
it-
say maybe a 3.
All right.
It can win in a bar quiz.
Probably not.
Maybe a 4 tops.
It has no reference
say
to our
3.
human bar quizzes.
True. I'm that gives it 3. I gotta say it's gotta be pretty durable, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
one head, kills it, but
Yeah.
you got all the other ones, and you have to chop them off.
Yeah, and they probably grow back pretty fucking fast. Like, you're not
Yeah.
waiting a long time.
And then there's just like a bunch more. So 6, 7, 6.
Sure. I'll go
6.
with
Does it have any kind of special moves?
that.
Head growth?
Spitting poison, spitting fire, you know? Oh, fuck, I got a leg cramp.
Poison,
Spitting acid.
fire, acid, blood,
Spitting insults. Spitting teeth. You know,
any vulnerabilities?
same as a snake.
It can spit everything but spit.
The head. Well, here's the thing. From what I understand, you gotta cut off all 5 to 8 heads before you cut off the unspoken 9th head. Or 6th head, I guess.
So his dick.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you basically can't kill it unless you cut off 5 to 8 and then the immortal head. This thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's fucking tough.
Yeah, I think its durability is a good 6. Can the heads be destroyed in any other fashion, or can they only be destroyed by getting cut off?
I'm gonna say only cut off.
I mean, you can annihilate them. Like, if you fucking Kamehameha wave that bitch, it's gonna burn up.
I think they just like sprout out. Well, yeah. I mean, fire probably would
So
work.
say we have a hellhound who steps on one of the heads, burns it to a crisp.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Still fine? Okay.
Because it, like, basically, it can't grow if it's cauterized. So, if it's, like, burnt, same thing.
Well, this thing's 21. Give me Kukulin.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna kill it.
No,
Oh.
I told Valia to give me Kukulin.
Nah.
I'm not gonna give you shit.
I think Kukulin definitely plays above his total.
I'm
I think so. Their rage mode accounts for a lot.
Also, the intelligence drops him a lot. And, like, that
Rage.
plays no part in his destroying of people.
Who haven't we really used?
Oh my god. Give me the neck break move.
Are you gonna break 9 necks at once? How many hands you got there, Mr. Hands?
I love how the headless man, its special is that it negates neck break attacks, and we don't get a neck break attack until 2 creatures later.
This can't be right. It's won every match it's in.
Yeah! The headless man is undefeated.
There's no way.
It is.
That's so dumb.
It's fantastic. Because it died like really quickly, but the Hellhound was tagged with it, and the Hellhound won. And then the other one was against the Leprechaun, which was a super pathetic fight.
Dude, I feel like someone could just like stumble upon the wiki and be like, "There's a podcast for this."
Did I tell you my goal is that someone finds this wiki and uses it for like an actual like assignment
Yeah.
for school, and then like reaches out to me
That'd be awesome.
or to us?
I don't want to be
You're like,
reached.
hey, I'd like to interview you.
Yeah, I'd do a reach around.
Nice. All right, what's the what creature do I get?
All right, you're gonna get the Hellhound.
Ooh.
That's a tasty little bitch.
The Hellhound, you can check on our wiki, has 3 wins and 3 losses in the 6 fight clubs it's been in.
So right away, they're just spitting mad insults, mad
I
fire.
haven't set the scene yet. Are you gonna
Shut the
let me set the scene?
You know what? How would I
Can I be?
set your
Can
scene?
I specifically be Cerberus so that it's like an infighting of kids?
Did you say
Sure.
Cerberus?
Cerberus. Cerberus.
Cerberus.
The electronic 3-headed dog.
That would be
Cerebrus.
a good name for a server company. Cut that out. I gotta copyright that.
Don't worry, this doesn't air for a while.
Whenever
Alright.
one of our stacks goes down, immediate backup grows
Seriously,
up.
I'm gonna Google that real quick.
Anytime a server breaks, 2 more will take its place.
Dude,
can't
that would
guarantee
be
that,
such a good.
That's very expensive.
Alright. So I have the Hellhound.
Let me set
It has a strength... Oh, sorry. Can I go over the stats quick before
Go
we set
for
the
it.
scene?
Let me set
Alright.
this.
Hellhound has a strength of 7, a speed of 7, an intelligence of 1, a durability of 7, for a total of 22. And it is weak to salt, its master, iron, and holy water. Its special is flaming feet and making toast.
Love toast.
Alright, go for it. Set our scene.
I didn't realize that that's like exactly how you spell Cerberus, as in Cerberus Snape.
Oh, Severus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you, the master of Harry Potter pronunciations now, too, Adam?
I am.
Fuck out of here with your J.K. Rowling.
Did you know that Voldemort is not pronounced Voldemort? It's pronounced Voldemort.
Nope. What is she, French? No,
It's
J.K.
pronounced
Rowling.
It is a
Vladimir?
French name, yeah.
Vladimir?
Vladimir.
Alright, let me set the scene here.
Is this the Halo ring planet?
Background music
Is this
plays.
the Pillar of Autumn? God.
Rustling through London streets.
Alright, hit him. Let's never let him set scenes again. Alright, continue. London streets.
Rustling through London streets. You hear a little, you hear Horsey, right? Pitter pattering on the streets. They're cobblestone streets. Then it slushes because you're in mud, right? This is old timey London, so there's mud everywhere. It's raining and shit. All right. You turn a corner, building. You see the two of you just basically Spider-Man on each building, right? Like you're hanging on the side of it.
What?
You're each hanging on the side of these buildings, okay? Opposite each other, all right? You're probably 10 feet away from each other. You're pretty much just ready to fight, ready to go.
This is a really narrow lane.
This is really tiny. A bunch of bums are down on the ground, like, yelling for you to get it on. Get it on, you bitch! Get it on! And you fight.
So I'm spitting poison right at its eyes right away. And just like spinning in a circle to create like a radius of poison around me.
I feel like with an intelligence of 1, I accidentally dodged this attack because I don't know how to hang on to the side of a building.
If he does a whole circle of poison, odds are it's at one height.
You can't touch
But-
me.
So yeah, I dropped down.
You get hit at one point with the poison.
It's fine. I'm basically immortal except for...
It's not strong, but you're not that hurt. It's just like,
Yeah.
ow.
It's
Right.
like, oh, that's annoying.
Oh,
You pissed me off. So I hit on top of one of there's probably 4 different bums. 1 leg on each. I'm burning their scalps. And I jump up and just bite in hard. This is very V formation. Drop down, jump up.
I have scales made of iron. They stab you in the jaw.
That wasn't discussed.
That's discussed now.
They're not made of iron. They just have scales.
There.
It has the strength. I have here strength of 5 to 8 snakes.
All right. So
Just
while you're
start
biting me,
ripping
all my
the necks
fucking
off.
heads, they just tear you. They just bite you. You know, they're biting.
I also drag you off the side of the wall. I don't know how you're
Yeah.
still
Why
around
are we
it.
still on walls?
You can go down.
So I
from the
like pull
walls.
you down from it, and we fall into the crowd. And I'm like hitting you with one paw to burn you, trying to hit the heads. But if I don't, whatever, I'll hit your little midget legs. Your Air Jordans, I'll burn those. Burn the soles right off.
Not my
All
Jordans.
the bums are
and
chanting.
I just
They're chanting, "Get it on, you perfs!"
aren't we already getting it
It's
on?
a little
Yeah, but like they
sexist.
don't get. They're stupid as shit because they're bums. They
Okay.
don't know what's going on.
Having realized my sexual nature in the Leshen episode, feel free to go back and listen to find out why. I do shove one of your heads up my ass
All right, just bite it.
and then rip it off
And just wait.
before you do anything
Wait, what?
bad.
You cut
That-
off.
That
Where'd you shove
100%
it?
fails.
What?
Where'd you shove it?
That attempt to. So you attempt. He said he shoved it up his ass.
That's what I thought.
But what happens is, you grab the head, right? As you grab the
With
head,
what? His
you kinda,
opposable thumbs?
he's a fucking dog. He has claws and shit, and they burn you.
How are
too.
you grabbing and shoving?
He can jump and shit. Anyway,
What?
he grabs and jumps like one of your heads, and to try to pull it up
Did
his
you
ass.
say he grabs and jumps one of my heads?
Yes.
You're the...
He jumps up, grabs one of your heads, rips it off, trying to attempt to shove it up his ass, and not realizing that the head is off. At this point, he's basically playing with just a ripped off head because he's so stupid, trying to shove it up his own ass.
So
you're kind of
this isn't-
vulnerable here.
This isn't bullshit because this was actually mentioned when Hercules cut off the last head.
Shoved the head
He
up
was
his
still
ass.
alive. So these heads got like a good, what do you say, 15, 20 seconds of life. You can still bite. No consequences. No reservations.
So what does this head do for 20 to 15 seconds in my ass? Hey!
Hey,
Ah,
look who's back.
Alright.
Alright, where were we?
Alright, cool. I believe... Okay,
I
so...
was talking about no
one-
reservations. Oh yeah,
One of your headless heads,
these
or your bodiless heads,
Yeah.
is up my ass.
these heads can still bite for like 15 to 20 seconds after.
Yeah, what do you do with those 15
You
to 20
just
seconds?
tear everything you can fucking see apart.
There's nothing about my innards being any more
What are you-
invulnerable than my outards, so I'm not worried. It just excites me.
You're telling me,
Just like the
you're
Leshen.
telling me that if some snakehead with a ton of teeth was just biting your rectum to shreds, I said,
Not my personal one, but Cerberus's,
Yeah.
yes.
you'd be affected by that. Anyone would be affected
Nah.
by that.
No, it just gets my angst going,
Oh, yeah.
so then I go full force
Oh, yeah.
ripping heads off.
What say you to this rectal damage?
well, you're trying to shove this thing up your butt. It doesn't work. You're just basically still playing with the head.
All right, scratch all that.
Okay,
The head's
I just step on it so it's on fire, and I go back to the rest and start just tearing heads off
They-
left and
they
right,
just tear
up and down,
equally tear at your
inside,
throat.
outside.
And yeah, they just tear
You're
your throat
living La
apart.
Vida Loca.
Step on some to burn them, make them toast. I eat that.
How do you counter that?
They just keep on growing back, though.
How quick do they grow back?
Let's say
Don't they get cauterized?
Let's say 1 to 2 seconds.
Don't they get cauterized, though?
I don't think
guess.
I'm smart enough to know how to cauterize the wound shut, so I'm gonna say no.
Do you just have a fiery bite by default, like everything you bite?
No, it's just my
Oh,
paws.
okay, that sucks.
You
for
can kind of control fire a little bit too, but not really to
I
do
can.
anything with.
All
Like
right.
barely.
Like that one X-Men who can't create fire but can manipulate it.
Magneto.
Kind of.
That is not the right X-Men.
It's the only one I know. All right, so
His name's Pyro.
that's a creative name.
Is he based off Spyro?
Yes.
Yeah. Same thing. So yeah, his heads just keep
Anywho.
regrowing.
So yeah. You're
feel
kind
like-
of just attacking these heads.
Also, Cerberus is three-headed, so I have like 3 heads going at it.
What? Where does Cerberus come into play?
That's the Hellhound I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
So that it's like a sibling fight.
Since when?
I asked early on.
What'd you say, Valia?
I said, sure.
You son of a
Wait,
bitch.
hold on. Let me quote myself. Let me quote myself what I said exactly. I said, okay.
Alright,
And that's a direct quote.
so it's a battle of
No
my
fake
head's
news here.
regrowing and biting at your throat.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, honestly though, if you're not cauterizing these heads and you bite off like 3 heads, fucking 6 heads are biting your throat out. They're just tearing it to pieces.
But how long? They're not instant,
It's
are
like
they?
one-
It's gotta
it's
take
like a quarter to a
6
third of a
to-
second.
8 hours.
What the
6 to 8
fuck?
hours.
6 to 8 hours?
How long
No,
does
dude.
it take to like cook a corn dog?
A minute and a
Like
half
10
on high.
minutes? I don't think that's right.
That's what
What
the
do you-
No, I
instructions say.
agree.
dog.
Minute and a half.
What are you guys cooking your corn dogs?
Except you never put it on high because it's just gonna be frozen on the inside. You gotta do like
That's what I'm
4
saying. You gotta
minutes on
cook
medium
it
or
properly
something.
so it's edible. Your corn dog has to be edible.
Is this like a kind of like a metaphor for the heads, where if he rushes them out, they'll be just kind of like retarded?
No,
Yeah.
no, they're fully fledged heads. So he's got like a zillion heads at this point, just biting your throat out.
I'm gonna say in this scenario where if you don't know how to cauterize these heads and they're pretty instantaneous, eventually the Hydra
Hydra.
can win. Yeah,
All right,
because
see you later.
it's basically a game of trying
All
Fake
right,
to
I gotta
win you
get
news.
out.
going, guys.
This is bullshit. The only reason I'm losing this one
Huh?
is because Dylan's ego is hurt because he's 5-6, and the rest of us are 6-5 or 6-6.
true.
The thing is, if he didn't have that instant release of the heads thing, there's no way this fight would be won because
Yeah.
To
the
clarify on
Hellhound
that,
would rip it apart.
I think the head's got to be like pretty fucking instant. Otherwise, this wouldn't be an issue. Like if it's growing back in like a day, be like, all right, just kill it in one
Yeah.
day. You know?
I would think like 15 seconds.
15 seconds, my dick ate him.
I know that's how long it takes to
Don't
orgasm.
say it, you motherfucker.
All right, so Hydra by like this is like the closest margin fight we've had. I think probably wins.
I do agree that the timing of the heads reappearing is literally like the only thing
Yeah,
that can really debate the.
apart from
winner.
intelligence, but like you're in a situation where you're in this tiny alley with these bums. There's no intelligence here. You just got to rip each other apart.
Yeah, they're forming a circle. They're yelling. They're throwing money down.
They're
It's like a
they're yelling,
cockfight.
"You ever seen Peaky Blinders?" There's one guy, and then you guys are like, "The fuck is this guy talking?"
Nah, man, I don't watch that shit.
And then he yells back, "Good."
Ah, you cunt.
Anyway,
Yeah, cheeky cunt.
yeah, Hydra just like 50.001% to 49.0009%.
That does not add up to 100.
It's basically 100. No, there's like discrepancies, like 1% just
You're a
randomness
fucking math
happens.
major or something?
Yeah,
Actually, I am.
Jesus.
there's like discrepancies.
That's how I got into mythology podcasting.
There's discrepancies.
I'll have a book out on it
That's a good in.
about my life.
There's discrepancies.
All right.
All right. Today we learned about the Hydra. We learned that it has 5 to 8 heads and can get more. 2 more grow in place if you cut it off. Also, fans of the MCU movies will know that. We talked to Tail about its fight with Hercules, kind of the end, the climactic part, to save some time. And we found out that the Hydra would narrowly beat out the Hellhound in a fight in an alleyway. That just like bunch of bums cheering on, just because its heads apparently grow back almost instantaneously. And we said this last week. We're gonna say it again. We said it already too. Also, we said it a lot. We have a website. Check it out. www.mythsandmen. And if you want to tell us how we did, if you want to just let us know that you enjoyed a laugh or two, that would be fantastic. We really need some ratings to boost us up, to get us seen more, make us more visible so we can become a better podcast. And you can do that at iTunes, where you can find us by going to itunes.mythsandmen.com, or on Stitcher by going to stitcher.mythsandmen.com. Also tell your friends about us. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? They listen to it and then judge you for listening to such an amazing show?
I think we're fucking
That's not gonna
stupid.
happen. Yeah, I mean, I already think at least 3/3 of this podcast is stupid.
You say 3/3?
Who's the idiot now?
You math major?
For
many-
for updated
How many
news.
percentage? How many percent of your brain is dumb? Ha!
Good job getting that one out.
Big dumb.
It's whatever 50.001 plus 49.009
Yeah, you
equals.
fat cow. Good. I went too far.
For updated news, you can follow us on Twitter at Myths and Men, or find us by going to twitter.mythsandmen.com, or on Facebook as the Of Myths and Men podcast. You can find that also by going to facebook.mythsandmen.com. Check out our wiki. It has all the creatures in it. It has all our fights in it. Almost. It's almost updated. We'll see about how quickly I can get that updated. And yeah, if you have a suggestion for a creature that we should talk about, you can contact us through our website or by leaving a suggestion in a review. And we hope to see you next week when we talk about something else.
Don't suggest creatures to me because no one tells me what to do.
Fucking straight up suck.
Yeah,
Valia,
tell me what to do.
Stop recording.
What?
Stop recording.
Stop recording?
Stop recording.
Stop.
Valia, stop recording. The music you heard on this podcast is called Call to Adventure by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com. It is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license.
It's probably something to do with the modem. The modulator and demodulating, you know.
I'm an audiophile, so I know how audio works in the internet, and that's what you described isn't the way it works.
Thanks for the clarification.
There's no latency with audio. It's like light.
Let's hammer
There's
this
no
out.
latency.
It's bound to be a boring episode.
Yeah, it really is. I gotta go to bed in about 20 minutes.
Which your creature did you pick this time?
Alright, I picked L. Alright, go ahead.